on the way, make the U-turn, get back on the highway, and I see headlights. It's at night. I see headlights in my rearview mirror, and they're hauling ass on me.
Yeah.
And up ahead is an 18-wheeler. And so I'm like, oh, all right, we'll let this car get a little close, and then we'll drop the hammer and see who wins, right? Whatever. There is no finish line on a highway, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so I brake right, okay, 18-wheeler center lane. I brake right into the slow lane. This other car brakes left into the fast lane. We both are now paralleling each other on opposite sides of an 18-wheeler. And then I come out on the front of the 18-wheeler ahead, and then this car drops in behind me immediately and turns on his lights.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so, here it is. It's a state trooper hauling ass. And then, of course, I start racing a state trooper, not knowing I was racing a state trooper. And he pulls us over and comes to the passenger window. And I'm like, I don't even bother arguing or kind of coming up with excuse. I'm like, man, I thought you were wanting to race.
Yeah.
He gets a smile on his face. He's like, driver's license, registration, and give him my stuff. He goes back to his car. He comes back and he's like, I know I was going fast. You were going fast. And because you beat me, I'm going to let you off. And it was the only time the state trooper. I mean, those guys are usually pretty strict, which is who pulled you guys over.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It was my time. I've got two that let me go. Once I was in the Ferrari close to a dealership, and he said, why were you going so fast? I said, man, I got to piss. And he said, where are you going? I said, I was going to Ferrari. Okay, man, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go up 2 X's, take a right, second light, take a right. It's right there. Hurry up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Next time I'm with my wife, and she wants me to get a ticket. That's her goals, to get a ticket.
Yeah.
I cut a state trooper off because of another car, so I cut him off, and I just hauled ass. And I was in her car. He pulls me over. What the hell were you thinking, cutting me off? I said, man, look, it was either that or I rear-ended the car that cut me off. He was like, okay, good call. Let me have your stuff. He went and ran it, and he's like, oh, you're good. Hey, did you hear about that state trooper that tackled that guy the other day? I said, no. I'm thinking, oh, shit, I'm going to get tackled here. Here's a YouTube video, and he starts showing me, and it's him tackle somebody, and he's like, man, get the hell out of here. That was some good driving. Like, thank God my wife's like, fuck you.
Wow. Yeah, that's rare.
Yeah.
The state troopers around here, for those of you who don't know, Texas state troopers are probably the most disciplined of law enforcement in the state of Texas. Oh, yeah. They go through, like, really, it's equivalent to Marine boot camp. That's why they're all like, these dudes they're all 6 foot or bigger, and they're usually built like fucking freight trains. I mean,
you don't see fat state troopers here.
You don't fuck with them either. And they're wearing the traditional cowboy hat, and they don't fuck around. And for those of you that are like law enforcement enthusiasts, you have to be a state trooper for I think it's like at least 10 years or so before then you can try out to be a Texas State Ranger or a Texas Ranger, which is kind of the elite investigators here in Texas. And they've been around since the late 1800s, give or take. I think they're one of the oldest law enforcement agencies in the country. I don't think they have any borders either still. I'd have to check into that. The last I read, they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want.
They
can get pulled in. Yeah, it's a pretty cool. I mean, there was a part of me that was like, man, when I get out of the SEAL teams, I want to be a Texas Ranger. Yeah. That was like next on the list.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But of course, by the time I retired, I didn't meet the age requirements, and I didn't want to radar cars for a living for 10 years straight before I could try out.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah. All right, next, gas or electric?
Gas.
Yeah.
All day.
You say that with confidence. Is that just because, even though you have these Teslas now that are just crushing everything on the road, what's your reason for sticking with gas?
Well, if you go on the car side, I want to be able to hear it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And driving a golf cart, that's what a Tesla is. Let's face it. It has 3 motors, but it's just like driving a golf cart at the golf course. They're fast. They're cool, but the interior sucks. All that. I haven't been in one that's great. I would say hybrid's okay, but gas, you get emotion. You still get that startup, that feel, the engine roaring.
Yeah, that's a
when
good
you
point.
Get going, and you feel it. Same with motorcycles. They're trying to come out with electric. The way me and you drive or ride or whatever, would you want to be on a silent motorcycle going down the highway with these idiots texting?
Oh, hell no.
Hell no. First thing I do on every motorcycle is make it louder so people can hear me coming,
Yeah.
And Hell no. Electric's going to be cool till they start recycling these batteries and we see black smoke going up in every city where there's lithium poisoning going around everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And not to mention, where do you put these things when you're done? Like landfills? That's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's that's a lot of caustic parts and pieces that now everyone's got to start trying to figure out how to get rid of. And you can't just dump it in the ocean, even though that's probably what they'll do at first.
Oh, yeah. Mathematics says it takes 5 years to catch up what the carbon footprint is to build a Tesla. It takes 5 years in a gas engine to get to where it took just to get that to you from the plant, not counting charging it for 5 years. So think about it. You're already 5 years behind on the carbon footprint. And then these guys driving gas, who most people don't even keep a gas car that long, and the emissions are getting better and better.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a new gimmick. It's the new war on drugs.
It is interesting. And, you know, recently, and I posted about it, you know, and in keeping in line with the world of survival, you had I-95 a couple of weeks ago get up there in Virginia, get locked up because of thunder snow. You know, it was basically everyone got trapped in a blizzard, stuck on that highway for 24 hours or more. And then there was the debate, you know, if I were in a gas vehicle versus an electric, you know, sitting on a highway and freezing temperatures, you know, which one would you pick?
Oh, the gas all day long.
I agree. And the biggest thing is, like, with whether you're on empty with your batteries or you're on empty with fuel, you're still sitting in a vehicle stuck on a highway. That's not where the debate is for me. The debate is what happens when a battery gets super fucking cold versus fuel getting super fucking cold. The battery loses a dramatic, we're 25, 30. I've seen a 50% drop in my Teslas just when it's cold weather.
Yeah.
You know, like one day it says it's got 200 miles left. And then as soon as it gets cold, it's got 100 miles left. So that is the biggest issue. I mean, when it comes to the elements, those batteries, you know, they don't necessarily help as much as you think. But if you got fuel that doesn't freeze, doesn't freeze, then, you know you're at least going to be able to run it for 10 minutes. The golden rule, if you're ever in those scenarios, is run your motor for 10 minutes every hour, you know, get that heat going, warm yourself up, turn it off. And then you'll be able to survive for a really long time. Even on a quarter tank of gas, half tank of gas, because I always recommend, you know, keeping quarter is you're empty. Half is ideal, but full all the time is the goal, because you never know what's going to happen. And like I've said 1,000 times before, what used to be the wrong place, the wrong time is now any place at any time. You're listening to Can You Survive This Podcast? Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and share on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your favorite shows.